To start off this week, I've got to find a set of 5 on 5.5, 15-inch wheels in here somewhere. I need a full set of wheels with tires that hold air. I don't care about the condition of the wheels, and I don't care about the condition of the tires as long as they hold air. So I'm going to go through here. I've got my little wheel checker here. I already went through the stack of wheels or tires out back. I think I found a set, and now I'm going to hand my phone to my wife and have her record while I dig around in here and see what we can find. This one right here, that bolt pattern looks big enough, so I'm gonna spin it around, and I should have a full set of 5 on 5.5 that came off of that 65. Yep. So this is one right here. If you've never used one of these before, every one of these has the size next to it. It's like 5 on 5, 5 on 5.5, 5 on 4.25, 5 on 4.5, 5 on 4 3/4. So you just hold this up and make sure all your lines line up. If you look through it and you can see red on anything you're looking through, then obviously that's not the bolt pattern you're looking for. But this wheel right here, this wheel's a 5 on 5.5, and this stack right here, I know this one is. I just need to check. I know that one's a 5 on 5.5. I know that one's a 5 on 5.5. I know this one is. We just checked it, and I do believe this wheel right here is a 5 on 5.5 as well. The way I'm going to do it is 2 normal steel wheels and then these 2 old Dodge steel wheels. I don't much care for these style of wheels for 5 on 5.5, the snap over caps, but I have a bunch of them in here that are the center snap, so this is more smooth on this edge, and I don't want to use those for what we're going to do. So I'd rather burn up this wheel, that wheel, and the Dodge wheels. So let me get these out and find some tires real quick, and we'll go from there. Right here on the ground, this wheel, this is a 15-inch wheel, but it's the wrong bolt pattern. So we're gonna pull this tire off. We're gonna put it on here. I've got another set of junk tires out here. They should hold air. So I've got these. I don't think this one's gonna be good for us. This one terrifies me because of that right there, but I know that this tire held air, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I pulled them out of the junk pile over here. These are tires that we need to haul off anyway, so I know these 2 right here are good, and we got 1 inside, so that gives me 3. We'll go from there on trying to find the 4th, but now I'm going to go in here and get all this stuff mounted. Right now I'm just pulling the weights off. This is, well, it's on the floor right there. This is the last one. So I've already got the other 3 over there mounted up. And this tire has a giant plug hanging out the side of it, but I think it held. I don't remember. It's not a good tire by any means. Will it hold air? I've got 1 more tire. If I have to use it, I will, but I really don't want to because I'm saving it as a spare. See if it holds air. This machine has the blasters in it. If you hold down this lever, you're blasting air. And then if you hold it down, it'll blow your hat off. Let's see if we can use the blasters, but make sure you lock the wheel back down. If not, you're gonna try to pick it up and fight it and do all that stuff. We knew that starting out that it was not a good tire. So pop it back off here. probably just go ahead and grab my spare. Because it's not a great tire, it was just a spare. Well, I went out there to the tire room and I actually found an even better, worse tire. It's got more tread than the one I was saving for a spare. It's the same size, but it's not a matching tire, and there's some dry rotting down in the grooves. So this tire, I do not care if we lose. Not planning on losing any of them, but we don't have a exact goal of what's going on here. We have a goal, which you will be filled in on. We don't have a exact goal for the long term, but I don't know what the long term of this all is, so I'm not wanting to set my good rollers on it and then have to deal with this later. But there's our last roller. Well, we just got another vehicle. So that's what the tires were for. 1986 extended cab F-150. And I bought it because it has AOD transmission in it. I didn't plan on getting the entire truck. I got there and the guy said, if you want to take the whole thing for the price, you can. So I did. And now I got to get it pulled in the shop. It had an engine fire. It's fuel injected. From what he was told was it had a fuel leak and had an engine fire. We're going to get it inside and we can look it over later. Right now, I'm getting the chicken ranch going and we're going to pull it inside. We can look it over. Like nothing happened on both sides. It's such a good old truck. I can't wait to get everything finished up on this one. We've got a rear end leak. We've got a transmission leak. And I got some more odds and ends to wrap up on it. But my plan is to get that one going very soon. I pulled it back here because we were going to work on it. But for right now, it's going to be on hold because I wasn't planning on this showing up. So I'm going to get digging in on this truck and start getting everything tore apart on it. And upon thinking about it and playing with it, I think the solution, or I think the final conclusion I came up with, I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to pull the motor and transmission out of it. I'm going to pull the bed. Here's that humdinger on the bed side. That's the only spot on the whole bed that's bad. The inside of the bed, there is not a rust hole, not a pinhole. The front panel is perfectly straight.
There's a couple of little dents here on the top side on both sides, but the bed is the most solid thing about this truck, period. So I'm gonna save the bed. I'm gonna put it on the cart, and then I'm gonna take the back bumper off. It's in pretty decent shape. It's got one little right there, but other than that, it's pretty good overall. So bed, back bumper, rear axle, that's 5 on 5.5. So anything that's like old F100 stuff, anything like that, it's an 8/8 rear axle. So it's a good rear axle, and it's a 5 on 5.5 bolt pattern. It's a good thing to keep around, so I'm gonna save it. The front clip is in great condition other than the hood. So the hood is falling apart. But other than that, or we could just put a bug guard on it. No. We can save the core support, front fenders, inner fender wells. This cowl piece right here is in good shape. We'll probably save it. And the doors. The doors are super solid, no dents. This one, I just lied. There's a little scrape right there, but it's in not bad shape at all. No rust. There's no rust on the cab either. But there's a lot of junk inside of here. So I got to go through all that. A lot of stuff to just throw away. But I think I'm going to pull the doors, front clip, bed, motor, transmission, and rear axle. And then once all that's off, I'm just going to scrap it. I mean, it's got a title and everything. It could be a builder, but I need the transmission. So then it puts me in the market of looking for a transmission. I love the front end. It just needs a hood and a tailgate. And the guy before me pulled the trim and stuff like that. So it was a little bit more complete before he pulled his parts off, because I told him, I said, hey, I'll come back and pick it up Saturday. He said, okay, well, I'm going to pull some stuff off of it. He pulled all the trim and little stuff like that, which isn't terrible. I mean, we had an agreement, and that's what he did. It just really made it look ugly and kind of lost a little bit of the luster that I had over the week, which is fine, because it means that I can just scrap this thing and get pretty much most of my money back. But I've got other stuff that needs to go to scrap anyway. I can make one haul, get rid of the truck. But that also gives us another motor for another project, small block Ford 302, full front clip and bed to do a bull nose conversion on something else. Kind of got an idea in my head, something that I'd like to do in the long run. I'm going to get tearing into it, see what we can get taken care of. So upon the interior clean out, truck came out of Louisiana, and the guy I got it from scrapped side-by-sides for a living. So there's a pile of side-by-side parts that were in the back seat. That can't go to the scrap yard because that's all plastic. I pulled a bunch of metal out of the cab, and that's all now in my scrap pile out back. Because what I'm going to do is pull the seats out, because you can have more room inside of here for throwing metal. We'll get that done, pull the seats out and all that. But we found a whole bunch of beer cans, 3/4 of a bottle of peach schnapps, as well as, from the state of Louisiana, arrest records. Here's a rock. That's probably involved in a crime. But I'm just going to keep picking away at it. I'm probably about to yank the hood off, throw it out back, start pulling the front fenders and core support and everything off the front. Well, a rainstorm hit while I was getting the bed off, but bumper and bed are off. I let the cat out of the bag with my daughter, and let her know. I guess I can let y'all know. I'm saving all the stuff that makes this truck a bullnose truck, the 80 to 86, and then everything, these trucks from 80 to 96, you can basically swap everything around, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to search for one. It's going to be a long-term project, so don't plan on seeing it anytime soon on the channel. We'll eventually go through the motor. I'll have to look for another transmission eventually, and we'll put it all together. But I let the cat out of the bag and let her know that we're gonna build her a truck, and we're gonna use a lot of the parts off of this to build. So we can go through the motor, make sure the motor is good. We can save all the stuff that's all the pretty looking stuff, the really nice bed, the good fenders, the good doors, save all that stuff. And then we can find a truck that's a little bit more ratty, like beat up body wise, and piece her together a really nice truck as her first truck. So that's the plan with it. I hope somebody sees this and kind of sees the vision in it. I know I'm kind of putting the cart before the horse, letting anything out. I know that's a long way to go, and I'm in no rush to do it at all. Like, y'all may not see this truck for a couple of years. Y'all may see it next week. Who knows? I'm going to let the Lord point the direction that we're going. He knows the path, and if he wants it to be built fast, then he'll bring me all the parts. If he doesn't want it built fast, then it'll take a little while. But if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I'm just going to let this speak to me and go the route that it's telling me to go. Basically, I brought it home and I kind of let it talk to me, and the ideas that I had for it went away. And the ideas that have come in, I like them, and I'm just letting the truck talk to me. Let it tell me how it wants to be put together. And a lot of people may think I'm weird or kooky or whatever, thinking that that's how this stuff works, but I just let these cars build themselves. I'm just letting them tell me how they want it done. I kind of have a vision in my head, and that vision may change 15 times before I even get it close to done. So I'm just going to let everything speak to me, let it flow. So let's keep tearing this thing apart. Next up, front bumper and front end. Try to get everything off so we can get down to that motor. All right, so it's day 2. I haven't been videoing. I've been just rocking and rolling, trying to get as far as I can. So here's where I'm at. Doors, front clip, core support, all that stuff is pulled. Got everything off over here. There's the door, all this stuff's in the back. I ended up cutting this section of the side of the cab off, so that way, if I need to, if I can't find a good, like whenever I go to find the donor, if it's not a bullnose body style, 80 to 86, and I need to repair that section of bed, I've got a good straight section of the cab here that I can use. So if need be, I've got that. I think I'm going to probably end up cutting the cab corners off of it too before it's gone. But now I'm working on getting everything disconnected up here. So I can see there's a ground right here that needs to come off the frame rail. There is the power steering hose that needs to come off. I've already pulled the low side. What I think I'm going to end up doing is unbolting the top section of this intake where it loops around and goes in. Probably just take that off. I'm not going to keep this intake. I'm going to run carbureted style on this engine. So no matter what, this 302 is going to be converted to carbureted. So I'll pull that off where I can then access everything easier. And I don't need this. I'll just throw it in the back seat and let it go to the scrap. A lot of progress. As you can see, the sun's going down. It's been a very, very hectic day of just destruction, I guess you could say. Delicate destruction. Here's the other fender. The lower valence. The pieces are broke off inside of there, so I got to get that off. Starter solenoid, whatever that little box is. I need to get that stuff off so that way I can put that in the bed of the truck and keep rolling here. But I'm just going to keep on plugging away. We'll see where we're at by the end of the day. All right, so I believe I've got everything freed up. So now we're going to test trying to pull this engine out of here and see what happens. Oh, we got one spark plug wire that's laced around some stuff. I've already pulled the main ground wire. Exhaust is disconnected, transmission is disconnected. Transmission's jacked up off of the jack. Motor mounts are loose. I see it coming up. We're freeing up. not totally out of the hole yet. There she is. Just ease it down. Home free. Well, it's 9:08 on Sunday. Truck is 94%, 98% strip. I want to pull the seats, steering column, drive shaft, and rear end. Rear end and steering column will be on the trailer. Besides that, I think everything else we'll be able to get off, but I think I'm just probably going to do that probably tomorrow. Something quick, something easy that I can knock out. Doesn't need to be videoed or nothing. But that's it. That's the beginning of a long-term project. We don't know when we'll get to it, when we'll even think about getting started on it. But the whole reason why we did all this was to get that right there. So I need to clean up that transmission, get it ready, because we're gonna stab that transmission into the wagon, and the wagon get back on the road. So now that I've got this transmission, I need to clean it up, go through it, put new gaskets on it and all that stuff, get it freshened up where I can slam it in the car. We'll put that in the car, we'll put that engine on an engine stand, and we'll call it a win. But I appreciate y'all watching. Thank y'all for sticking around if you did. Seeing what I've got planned for this unplanned project, and watching me retrieve a new piece to revive a project that really was one of the beginning ones in this whole YouTube series. So thank y'all. See y'all next week.